Content warning. This episode contains foul language and discussions of violence. Trigger warning. This episode includes discussions of sexual assault, rape, or molestation. Listener discretion is advised. Don't you just love technical issues?
Oh yeah. Yep. So awesome. Love them.
Guys, I am so sorry we had a delay in getting this episode out, but just trust me, it's better this way.
Yeah. That audio was weird.
It was
Y'all
weird.
would not have wanted that.
No, I agree. So how was your Thanksgiving?
It went good. I was in charge of pies this year, and I went with a pumpkin, a pecan, and a caramel apple pie.
Caramel apple pie. That sounds amazing. Some ice cream on top. I like pie. And I tend to use that, saying I like pie, when I want to change the subject. But, this time it's perfectly acceptable for me to just give my undying love and devotion to pie, especially caramel apple pie with ice cream. Also, if you're my secret Santa and you're listening to this, pie's fine, pie. And then also like Haribo, however you say that, but those like gummy twin snakes. Yeah, Haribos are good for my daughter. But Haribo gummy twin snakes are good for Courtney. And chocolate. I really like chocolate, especially Godiva, but chocolate. Chocolate's fine. Chocolate.
Fancy. But what about you? What did you do for Thanksgiving?
I didn't do jack shit. We're having to celebrate it on a separate day because I have to work with all this extra time that they're so generously giving me that I didn't ask for. So that does suck. But I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of a slap in the face because they had us working Thanksgiving. So
yeah. And
y'all can call me a crybaby all you want, but people don't seem to understand the shit everyone has to go through.
One day, Courtney.
Yep, one day. Yeah.
Due to all of this, our lovely Courtney is taking a step back into the background a little bit.
Just a little.
Just somewhat.
Just a tip.
Until after the holidays, right?
Yeah, I'm still here, but just as translucent, really, Courtney.
It's translucent.
I'm just as translucent as ever, because I'm white. But, I'm kind of taking a back seat a little bit just because my job's asking me to work all these extra hours that I didn't, ask. So it sucks, but I guess I have bills to pay and people to feed.
Yeah, it still sucks though. But at least you're gonna have Thanksgiving at some point, right?
Yeah, we're doing a Thanksgiving and a birthday party mashup for my daughter. That's gonna be weird because it's gonna be like, happy birthday, Anna. You want some cranberry sauce? And here's this turkey drumstick and your cake and some presents. Now go to bed.
Oh, yeah. Hey, my birthday's been on Thanksgiving plenty of times. So you know what? That's usually the best meal. I mean, come on.
You're right. I could be like, happy birthday. Let's eat. Let's celebrate. Let's be thankful you were born.
Exactly.
And then go to bed.
Turkey.
Yeah.
Bed.
Yeah.
Because, turkey has tryptophan.
You mean tryptophan? That's
okay.
I
cannot say that word.
That's, what? Tryptophan is a hard word, and we don't word very well.
Tryptophan.
That's fine.
Tryptophan.
Tryptophan. Don't trip the fan, just tryptophan.
Tryptophan.
Yeah, but yeah, why would you want to go to Showbiz Pizza or something when you could just have Thanksgiving in December anyway? Come on. Pizza, turkey.
What is that?
What is what?
Showbiz Pizza.
Oh, you know what? You youngsters, y'all call it Chuck E. Cheese nowadays. That's a thing. There's a whole thing where, Showbiz Pizza and Chuck E. Cheese. Anyways, we're going off track. Amanda's going to be discussing Jerry motherfucking Brudos, y'all. The shoe fucker.
Well, he didn't, actually...
The shoe fucker. The shoe fucker.
Did you name this episode?
Yep. It is called An Ugly Unraveling. And I am becoming unraveled. So, you like that intro? Short, sweet, and to the point? Not really. It wasn't short or sweet.
No, not really. And this episode is also going to be pretty short. But I have to say, I do like the title this time.
Well, we have 5 more to go, and it's bound to get crazy. Because, V, W, X, Y, Z. Examine your zipper. Examine your zipper. That's the last episode. After X, or after W, it's going to be a time to examine your zipper.
Time to examine your zipper.
Happy New Year, everybody.
I still want the last one to be Zippy Zebra.
Okay, well, I don't know about that, but maybe.
Where was Zippy? Zombie Zebra. Zombie Zebra.
A zombie zebra. Welcome to a zombie zebra. And then you hear like majestic neighing in the background. Wait, zebras, they neigh, right? Like,
I have no idea.
Neigh. I can't. No.
What is that kind of neigh? Is that a zebra neigh?
I'm good at a lot of things, but I'm good.
That?
I don't even know. And you know what? We're keeping this. I'm not deleting this. Nah. I'm good at a lot of things, but I can't zebra neigh. Okay, I'm sorry. Hey, zebra neigh. You know what zebra neigh sounds like? A new dance move. Let's do the zebra neigh. Do what?
Neigh. All right, but
zebra neigh. That should be somebody's name. Zebra neigh.
Zebra neigh.
Amanda, your name is no longer Amanda. It's zebra neigh.
Okay, I'll answer to it.
All right, zebra neigh.
Okay. So exactly how are you going to do this, though? Those are some really weird words to come up with.
Well, zebra neigh, I really don't know, but at this point, I don't think anyone really cares. As soon as we finish Z, though, I'm really just done with the weird way we're naming these episodes.
Hey, don't get me involved in all that. That was all you, boo.
I know. I guess I just didn't really think that through too well when we started this podcast. And I admit it. I can take accountability for my actions.
True. You know who can't take accountability?
Kyle Ritt.
Jermone.
Jermone?
Jermone.
Who's Jermone?
Jermone Henry Brudos.
Do you mean Jerome?
Jerome.
Okay.
What are you talking about right now?
You said Jermone.
Jermone. I don't care. He doesn't. He's not very important.
Guys, we don't do drugs, okay?
Just sometimes I can't speak.
I like how you paused before I can't speak. Anyways, so Jerome Henry Brudos?
Yes, so Jerome Henry Brudos. He was born on January 31st, 1939 in South Dakota.
I'm still laughing about Jermone. I'm sorry.
Jermone. I was trying to interrupt you real fast.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so Jerry. His name's Jerry, y'all. We're calling him Jerry.
Jer Bear.
His family moved around a few times while he was growing up. They lived in Oregon, California, South Dakota. He was the youngest of 2 boys. We got Jerry, and his older brother was Larry.
I don't know. It happened.
I'm all confused tonight, guys.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. Anyways, he had a bad relationship with his mom. I feel like everybody we talk about has a bad relationship with their mother.
So
this was Eileen.
Come on, Eileen. Oh, I swear. I don't know that song. Yeah.
Well, she apparently wanted a girl and took that out on Jerry. But she did dote on her older son, Larry.
Larry and Jerry, like Tom, Dick, and Larry, and Jerry, Tom and Jerry. Don't let me continue. Also, how awful. The kid can't help the gender they were assigned with.
Exactly. His mother was a witch.
Fucking Eileen.
So when Jerry was about 5 years old, he discovered a pair of high heel shoes in a junkyard. And this marked the beginning of his fascination with women's footwear.
Which, I'll go on record to say that many people have fascinations with shoes. So this isn't quite weird, but the extent that he takes it is what kind of becomes strange.
Yes. So when his mother found him wearing the shoes, she took them away and destroyed them, burning them to be exact.
That's a little harsh.
Right?
Ugh.
But this is like around the late 30s to 40s. We weren't near as progressive as we are now.
True.
His fetish for women's shoes continued to grow, and he later stole women's underwear from neighboring homes.
Gross! And I mean, the only reason that's like off-putting to me is because this is like definitely like a box of chocolates situation that you would get at a resale shop. Like, you truly never know what you're gonna get. Like, imagine going to Goodwill and you're like in the books section and you come across like an old box of like Russell Stover. That's what that is, except it's underwear. I mean, you never know what you're gonna get. Is it gonna be Belgian chocolate, a set of keys, moldy cat food?
Oh!
Yeah.
Anyways. As he grew, he developed a dark fantasy life, which involved violence against women.
Ew. Fuck him.
Including stealing his first grade teacher's shoes.
Okay.
He would also stalk neighborhood women, knocking them down or choking them, and then fleeing with their shoes.
Okay, so this is making me want to research whether the cartoon character Brutus, you know, like from Popeye, is loosely based off of Brudos, because the way Brudos is being described, and the name, you know, Brudos, because the way Brudos is being described, that's what pops into my mind, because I'm weird.
I see it.
Yeah,
I see it.
Okay, cool.
No, I definitely see it. So,
this like really nasty little man holding a can of spinach and trying to pop it open with a shoe. Yeah, with wow, dude, I should create this like cartoon now. It's called Brudos, and he's got a can of spinach, and doesn't have a can opener, so he uses like a high-heeled shoe. I'm not gonna create that cartoon.
His muscles, because
no,
that's what Popeye.
But the Brudos is not Popeye. Brudos is Brutus.
Yeah, Brutus is the bad guy.
Yeah, and so he takes a high-heeled shoe and uses the high heel and
to open up the can of spinach.
Bingo.
But did Brutus like spinach?
I think Brutus liked a lot of things, including shoes and being a fuckbag.
Probably.
So he probably did not like spinach. I don't know.
He was a bad guy. He obviously did not like spinach.
Maybe that's why his mom didn't like him very much, is because he wouldn't eat his fucking spinach. Eat your spinach, kids.
Anyways, Jerry is 17.
Okay.
And he threatened a teenage girl with a knife, forced her to take off her clothes, and then proceeded to take photos of her naked body. There are some reports that he also beat her, but I cannot say that for an absolute fact.
Okay, so did the girl survive?
Thankfully, she did.
Good.
Also, at the age of 17 is when he dug a hole and kept girls down there as sex slaves.
Over fucking shoes?
Insane, right?
Yeah.
For his crimes, he spent some time in Oregon State Hospital's psychiatric ward.
Okay.
He was diagnosed with schizophrenia and extreme misogyny.
Oh, okay. I really almost wish that extreme misogyny was still considered a certifiable illness today.
Right.
Ugh.
So why isn't it?
I don't know.
While in the hospital, Jerry's secret obsessions came pouring out.
Okay.
Doctors learned about his collection of women's clothing and, disturbingly, his fantasy of putting kidnapped girls in freezers so he could rearrange their frozen bodies into sexually explicit positions.
Wow.
Yeah. But for some reason, the doctors didn't think that there was anything seriously wrong with him.
Oh, no, of course not, because it's the 50s at this point, and yeah, just like, you know, there was nothing seriously wrong with everybody else who committed some seriously and similarly serious crime. Like, really? It's like right there in front of your fucking face, dude.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I can just picture this in my head.
Oh my god.
They even claimed the quote, the boy just needed to grow up and mature a little. The hospital released Jerry Brudos back into the public.
Yeah, because boys will be boys. Right? Gross.
So after high school, Jerry joined the Army. Scary. In March of 1958. But he was discharged by October, probably to do with being Jerry. And he eventually became an electronics technician.
Oh my god. Okay, so let me guess. He created a bionic foot and then later a smart shoe. Please tell me that is what happened, and he became some massively intelligent inventor and changed millions of lives for the better, and that he didn't murder anyone because of a shoe fetish.
Oh, man. I really wish I could say that. I really do.
I mean, that would be fucking awesome. A bionic foot and then a smart...
I really wish I could say that.
Ugh.
That's not how we're going with the story, though.
That's snot?
No.
Okay.
It's not.
Snot?
It's not.
Okay.
How old are we?
I don't know, but I'm trying to make you laugh.
So, I know, I need it.
Okay.
Around the age of 22, Jerry married Darcy.
Okay.
To 50s.
That's okay.
And they moved to Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
The couple had 2 children.
Uh-oh.
He would force Darcy to do housework naked.
Oh, no.
Except for a pair of high heels, which he took pictures, of course.
Wow. I mean, it's cool if both parties are consenting to that, but wow, he forced her?
Yeah.
Ugh.
So, according to reports, he often forbade Darcy from leaving the house or entering certain parts of the house without Jerry's permission.
Wow, so he's potentially got some sort of borderline personality disorder or narcissistic personality disorder?
Bingo!
Okay.
So, sometime later, Jerry began complaining of suffering from migraine headaches and blackouts.
Oh, wah.
I know, right? To relieve the symptoms, though,
Mhm.
Court, he said he would steal shoes and lace undergarments during night prowling raids around the neighborhood.
Altocalcophilia.
Consume tight.
Altocalcophilia is a sexual paraphilia, or rather, not able to reach stimulation and also gratification unless it's from, specifically, high-heeled shoes.
All right, well, I guess everyone has their thing.
I was reading on something where there's a difference between a fetish and a paraphilia, and I'll quote this from psychcentral.com. Quote, fetishes are non-traditional sexual interests or behaviors or kinks that are, for a particular individual, a deep and abiding, and possibly even necessary, element of sexual arousal and activity. Paraphilias are fetishes that have escalated in ways that have resulted in negative life consequences.
Good to know.
I got you, boo.
So apparently Darcy was aware of her husband's fetish for women's clothes and shoes, as he often wore them around the house.
Which, that's gotta hurt, you know, because I've been in high heels once or twice. Didn't last longer than like 11 minutes, you know, and I fell on my face once on stage, actually, while I was performing a song. Fun times.
And you don't have that on video? Damn.
Nope.
Anyways, however, Darcy clearly missed a few very disturbing warning signs
Right.
and ignored years of unusual behavior.
Well, dear listeners, let's not be too hasty to jump Darcy's shit here, because right now she's pretty much a victim as well. And there's a plethora of information out there on relationships where psychopathic behavior leaks into the romantic relationship. And if he is psychopathic or narcissistic, this very well could be one of many power plays used to instill fear into his wife not to tell, or leave, or both even. Not that I'm any kind of therapist, but I do have personal receipts, so...
Very true. But meanwhile, not to drive you into getting personal because that makes you uncomfortable,
Yeah, a little bit.
but in May of 1967, he targeted a woman because he liked her shoes and followed her home.
Oh, God. Let's get some shoes. No, it's bad time.
That's
Bad
all,
timing.
all I can think of.
Yeah, shoes.
Writing this, it's all I can think of.
Let's get some shoes.
So, crazy person went into her house after she went to sleep.
Okay.
He strangled her to the point of unconsciousness. Wow, Amanda. He raped her and then left, taking some of her shoes with him.
Oh, wow. So strangled to unconsciousness. Do you know if she actually survived that?
Yes, he did not kill her, thankfully.
Thank God.
Yes. And Jerry wasn't connected to this crime until much later.
Of course.
I don't know her name, but she still needs a mention.
Yeah.
She's still a victim.
Okay. And that's, of course. But, you know, also, try to imagine something for a minute. Not to go too far off topic, but I remember a news story I watched when I was, like, really young. I had to have been, like, 9 or 10. There were situations where people would wake up to a strange man just standing over them and staring at them as they had slept. The people would be too scared to do or say anything, and he didn't actually physically harm them in any way. He just quietly walked out and left. But can you imagine how creepy that would be? I never forgot that because it scared the shit out of me. I remember there was times where I was actually up all night waiting for this creepy man to come into my room and stare at me.
Ugh.
But I never, I remember how he was described. He had brown hair, he had a rounded, groomed beard, squinty blue eyes, and he was like medium to heavy build. And that beard, the way that I could describe that beard is, you've seen Al on like Home Improvement, Tool Time, that kind of shape,
Okay.
So
neatly done.
But yeah, it was like neatly done, but he just looked like kind of a mountain man otherwise. I really need to look back into that because it's creepy as fuck, but it's also really, really interesting.
Yeah, it's really...
Right. Anyways, we'll be right back.
Do you often find that you need a distraction from everyday life?
Do you like true crime, conspiracy theories, paranormal stories, and other weird, dark tales?
Well, tune in and turn up Weird Distractions Podcast, where we, your hosts, Christy
and Alex,
bring you a weird distraction to help you get through the work week.
Every Sunday morning, you can find our show on Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify, Good Pods, and more.
So, grab a snack, get comfy,
and make sure to lock those doors. Need a distraction? We got you.
Welcome to an undisclosed location. We are Murder Incorporated.
Give me one good reason why people should listen to our podcast, buddy.
Because you're getting true crime from a nerd and a murderer's son all wrapped into one.
Yes, my father is a murderer, and you are indeed a nerd, buddy.
What else sets us apart, Harley?
I truly believe our empathy for the victims and their families shines through every episode.
Also, 100% of all our listeners have not been murdered.
We are Murder Incorporated.
All right. We are back. So, not much longer, on January 26th, 1968.
You know what? Totally off topic, but I have noticed something with true crime cases.
Oh, what's that?
A lot of things happen around my fucking birthday. Mine is January 25th, and it's usually when trials tend to occur, but like sometimes people are, brought into this world around then. But really the month of January, it's just like I've noticed a lot of trials specifically and other things related to crime happening around my birthday.
Could it be that people tend to wind down on that stuff due to the holidays?
Oh, so basically, I'm not, I guess, it's not a sign that I'm meant to do a true crime podcast then, I guess.
No, it's got to be pure coincidence.
Okay.
But you have an imaginative spirit. I like that.
Damn. Also, just so y'all know, I did it. Yep, I did it. I did.
Good job.
Yeah, thanks.
You're so weird.
I know. What are you going to do?
Moving on. So on January 26th, 1968, Linda Slauson, a young encyclopedia saleswoman, paid a visit to Jerry's home.
Okay.
He pretended to be interested in buying a set to lure her in, like a jackass.
Yep.
And then Jerry later admitted that he hit her in the head, strangled her to death.
All she was doing was trying to sell some fucking encyclopedias. Like, she was just trying to provide him some knowledge.
I know, so sad.
Yeah.
So after her death, he kept the body for some time, dressing it up in women's undergarments. And Jerry also removed one of her feet so that he could put high heel shoes on it from his collection.
That just sounds like a fucked up designer advertisement.
Right?
Yeah.
Her car was later found abandoned at a rest stop along I-5, Interstate 5. Between Salem and Albany.
I-5. Okay, so there's a lot of coincidences happening. I-5, and then there's also the whole PNW area, but, we won't get into that.
Oh.
So.
All right, so they found her car between Salem and Albany.
Okay.
While her body was even later found tied to a piece of railroad iron on July 27th, 1969.
How awful.
I know.
Ugh.
In that November of 1968, poor Jan Whitney was driving home for Thanksgiving when her car sadly broke down.
Okay.
Jerry saw her and stopped to offer her help.
Okay.
And instead, he strangled her in his car, had sexual relations with her dead body.
Okay, first of all, so he stopped to offer her help. That's not being helpful, Jerry. Okay? Also, I mean, what is it with all the necrophilia? I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
It's so disgusting.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's what he's known for.
Okay.
That and shoes.
Yeah.
But Jerry brought Jan's back into his workshop and dressed it up to pose for photographs.
Yeah.
And with Linda's remains, he decided to keep a part of his victim again, but this time removing one of her breasts.
Okay, so this is going to sound really bad, and I apologize. Just hear me out. I can somewhat get, like, keeping a bone or something like that from these crimes. Like, even just, like, a piece of cartilage. You know? Like, but I kind of want to know how they preserve things that contain fatty tissue, because I can only imagine that it would, like, melt or decompose or something.
Like a rabbit's foot or something.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, breast tissue probably wouldn't hold up.
Also, it's probably not very lucky, you know?
No, not like a rabbit's foot.
No.
So, old Jerry's killing spree escalated the following year. He abducted 19-year-old Oregon State University student Karen Sprinkler from a parking garage in downtown Salem in March while he was dressed up as a woman.
Wow.
Yeah, could you imagine? So, he took her to his home, sexually assaulted her, and strangled her to death. He also removed both of her breasts after her death to make molds.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what he was doing.
Okay.
He's just making molds with them. And then he had sex with her body multiple times before tying her to a car engine and throwing her in the river.
That's fucking awful. And wow, that just answered my previous question too.
Yeah. And only 4 weeks later, he struck again. This time, the victim was 22-year-old Linda Sally.
Yeah.
He kidnapped her from a shopping center and brought her back to his home to continue his murderous spree.
Oh,
and
God.
As he had done with his other victims, he disposed of the body in a river as well.
Man, he barely even had a cooling off period.
No, it's like he could not get enough, I guess.
Ugh.
So gross. A few weeks later, Linda Sally's body, his last victim, was discovered in the Long Tom River by a fisherman, Sam Wallace.
Okay.
Back then, they didn't have cell phones. So he found this. He had to jump back in his truck, drive to the nearest gas station. It was a whole ordeal.
Wow.
So police working the case noted that there was an unusual knot on the nylon rope that was used to tie the body to the car transmission.
Right.
While they continued to search for the river, police found Karen's remains a few days later.
Wow.
Yeah. And as we know, her body was tied to the engine using that same kind of unusual knot.
Interesting. That's sad, but the knot. And I mean, that makes the title of this episode really fitting, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But just wait.
Okay.
Anyway, during the course of their investigation, the police interviewed students at Oregon State University in Corvallis about the murders. Some female students reported receiving phone calls from a strange man claiming to be a Vietnam veteran looking for a date.
Gross. I mean, thank you for your service, I guess, but randomly calling for dates, that's just no. It's not like people are going to school. They're like automatically also a sex worker.
I know. That was very strange to me.
Yeah.
Like, was that a normal thing?
I hope.
It's a normal thing.
I hope not. But don't call me. Don't call me.
Well, I mean, one of those students actually went out with this guy that was calling.
Okay.
Yeah. He said he was a heavy-set man with light hair and freckles.
Okay.
And during their encounter, the man made some reference to the dead woman found in the river and possibly of taking his date away and strangling her.
Oh.
So police asked her to call them if the man ever called again and to just set up a meeting with him at her dorm.
Okay.
After a few days, the man, who turned out to be our Jerry, called and agreed to get together with the young woman.
Okay, first of all, he is not our Jerry. I am not claiming that. In the name of Jesus, amen. And also, I'm thanking God, speaking of Jesus, I'm thanking God that she actually did go on that date because she was able to describe him. She was able to, document everything. She agreed, she agreed in the first place. And God, just thank God she wasn't a victim.
I know. She's so lucky.
Yeah.
So I'm going to paint a picture here.
Oh, okay.
Picture it.
Okay.
Old Jerry Bear sitting in front of a lighted mirror. He's trimming his hair, probably a comb over.
Probably.
And probably spraying a heavy mist of an Axe spray body equivalent. Joe Bon Musk for men. Joe Bon Musk for men. Winking at himself, saying to himself, "Good boy, Jerry, you're going to get a piece tonight."
Ugh.
Probably thinking he'll get past second base.
No, he won't.
Then proceeds to thinking about calling his mom and saying, "Ma, I made it. Gonna go on the second date with a pretty girl."
Ma, you made it.
Ugh. But instead, he decides last minute to grab a few sheepskin condoms, probably.
Probably.
Or probably not. I doubt Jerry really cared about using protection.
Right.
He put on his best dating attire, clean pressed slacks, a nice crisp white shirt, his best Ray-Bans, and his wallet flush with cash. And gets ready to go out on the town to wine and dine this woman.
Man, I am just seeing nothing but gold pinky rings, and that just sounds like a stellar way to make an impression.
So basically what Jerry didn't know is that he was actually set up on a blind date with police officers.
Aww.
Who were waiting patiently for his arrival.
That is just so romantic. Oh, I hope he arrived with a full bouquet of roses, the best kind. Maybe some Godiva. Wow. Just wow. Bottle of wine,
right.
He wants some wine and dine them, take them out, get all romantic. It's it's the first date, man. So good.
I can just see him opening the door and Jerry standing there with a bouquet of a dozen red roses and a bottle of champagne and just drops them.
That's just so sweet.
I see. I watched too many movies.
So sweet.
So that's probably the question that Jerry asked him. So they then asked him about the basic first date questions.
Right.
What's your type?
Right.
Favorite color?
Right.
Favorite movie? Do you like music?
Yep.
Ever murdered anyone?
Oh, how about what's your shoe size? Because
they definitely asked him that.
Yeah, people really care about your shoe size.
Yeah. So, why would they not ask him that?
Why wouldn't they?
So they interviewed him, decided to investigate him as a possible suspect. After a young woman he previously attempted to abduct.
You mean date?
Identified.
Date. You mean
attempted to date?
Yeah, he attempted to date her. He wanted to wine and dine her like he did with those cops.
No, this is another girl.
I know.
Oh.
I'm sorry. That just totally went.
This one, he just tried to. It went right over my head.
It went right over my head. Hey, I'm the blonde too, but I've got the red hair that's covering it up. It's fine. It's fine. But.
Oh my gosh. We are fun tonight.
Yeah, we are. You guys are going to love it. And if you don't, fuck off. Anyway.
So. The police were able to get a search warrant for his home. There they found a wealth of evidence, including the nylon rope.
The sheepskin condoms also?
Photos.
Did they find sheepskin? Well, that date ended badly.
There's no way this man ever wore a condom in his life.
Well, why wouldn't you though? I mean, you're making love to corpses. Okay, that date ended badly though. That's fine.
Oh.
Yeah, it is really disgusting.
People, well, for real, I bet women have had worse dates though.
Yeah, for sure.
So during an interrogation, Jerry admitted to 4 murders as well as several other assaults and attempted abductions.
Okay.
He was first charged with Linda, Sally, and Karen's murders. Jerry tried to avoid punishment by claiming he was not guilty by reason of insanity.
They always fucking do this.
Yeah, the mental health experts who examined him, however, determined that he was legally sane.
They always do that too.
I am sorry. He is not mentally sane.
I don't know. He needs to just.
That's where I go. I'm like, for somebody to do this, they cannot be sane.
Especially if they have a comb over.
Especially if they have a comb over. Especially.
You ain't fooling anybody, by the way.
No. He He knew what he did was wrong and never showed any signs of remorse for his actions.
Also, he's probably fit to stand trial. I'm sure of that.
He eventually pled guilty to the murders of Karen, Jan, and Linda Sally. Although he also confessed to killing Linda Slauson.
Yeah.
He was not charged in the crime due to lack of evidence.
Oh, that's so fucking frustrating.
Very.
Yeah.
So for these crimes, he received 3 consecutive life sentences with the possibility of parole. And although Darcy was charged with aiding and abetting her husband in these crimes, she was not convicted for murdering any victims.
I mean, essentially, I feel bad for Darcy because she pretty much felt she had no choice in this.
I know. A neighbor initially claimed that she saw Darcy and Jerry carry an unconscious woman. However, as the witness was discredited during the trial, and there was no good proof. The case against Darcy was dismissed, and she divorced him in 1970, left the state, changed her and her children's names, and I don't blame her.
Good for you, Darce. Good for you.
So while serving his time at the Oregon State Penitentiary,
It happens.
Jerry
It happens.
several times to appeal his conviction, but these efforts failed.
Failed miserably.
He died of liver cancer on March 28th, 2006.
Bye, Jer Bear.
Bye.
Bye.
At the Oregon State Penitentiary Infirmary, at the time, he was the longest incarcerated inmate of the history of the Oregon Department of Corrections. Congrats, huh?
Yeah, way to go, you old shitbag. Hope you're reincarnated into an old torn up boot or fucking comb over.
And I will end this with a quote.
Go for it, girl.
Some people have a shoe fetish, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, I want to wager a guess here of who said this. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Abraham Lincoln. It's got to be Abe Lincoln.
No.
The Bible?
No.
Leonard Skinner?
It's Jimmy Choo.
Oh, okay. See, that makes sense because honestly, a lot of fashion designers are weird.
They are. Sometimes I just want to carve a little window into your head and see what's all going on in there, girl.
I mean, what do you think is going on in there?
A hamster running on a wheel.
Well, we are a podcast deeply driven by fact. So yeah, you're right.
So make sure you tune in next week for our next case. In the meantime, follow us on all of the things. Courtney's going to be taking a research break due to her job placing extra demands on her during this already very stressful holiday season.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm going to just add to the point real quick that there is a lot of grief happening with a lot of people this season. And just in all seriousness, just exercise empathy and compassion. That's my big fucking message. I won't go any further into detail because it's happening to a ton of people, but just exercise compassion and empathy to your friends and your neighbors and your family. And that was all I had. And you know what? No, I have more. We have merch. Please go check. Yeah, go check it out. We've got a special shout out to our design team, Lindsay Hayes, who you all know who she is. She created our original artwork. And a big welcome to Evil Dead from WCP Graphics. He created our Sir Frederick. And we have a clean version and a dirty version of our sign off as well.
Ooh, and he created our zombie faces. Yes. I just bought a shirt, and all of the art is just insane. I love how we have things for both girls and guys.
Yes, we do. We have coffee mugs, shirts, hoodies, fucking pint glasses for all you drinkers out there. I don't drink, but make sure you gift your friends with our stuff because, you know, it's truly art. It's truly art.
All right, then. Sign us off.
Don't be a dick.
And wear that deodorant.
And don't do a comb over. But fun fact, you can put deodorant in your feet to help you not sweat in your shoes.
Oh, yeah. A shoe fact.
Yeah.
I get why you said it.
All right, bye.
Thank you so much for listening to A Nefarious Nightmare.
Music used in this podcast is by Ghost Stories Incorporated.
You can find their music on bandcamp.com.
Do you need merch, the latest episodes, our social media profiles, or just to say hi?
You can find all of that and more at www.anefariousnightmare.com.
Thank you so much for listening.
And take care, y'all.